Welcome back to another video, Honey Bunches. Today I am trying to make the vegan egg taste goods. This is the Follow Heart vegan egg, which you've probably seen around the place. I've seen it in many places near where I live, so I bought it and I made scrambled eggs with it, but for the remaining eggs that I had left, I really wanted to make it taste better than the scrambled eggs did. So this is me making 3 different things with it, and this is a Spanish frittata type thing. Some vegan fried rice with the vegan egg, you know, making it a little bit more traditional, I suppose. I don't know what traditional fried rice, even if it is traditional. And these cauliflower fritters with the herbed mayo fennel-ish thing. And these were all out of this world. So let's start with the fritters. I tried to convert a classic, I guess, that we used to make all the time out of this delicious magazine that was laden with dairy products. And what you'll need, all the recipes for this will be on my blog, and I put the versions that, you know, this is like me trying them out and testing them, but the polished finished product recipe is on my blog, so just go over there to see how to make all these deliciousness. So that was me boiling up florets of half the cauliflower for 8 minutes, and now I'm going to make this herby mayo, and I had about 1/4 cup of veganese left in the jar, which is my favourite brand of mayonnaise that's vegan, and I mix that around in the jar to have later, and I just swirled that around with a cute little finger spatula and popped it back in the fridge till I needed it. So back to the fritters, I mixed some flour, salt and pepper, some fennel seeds, and if you're not a fennel fan, then I beg you to just give this recipe a chance. This totally converted me to fennel ways, and I know it will do the same to you too. So you're gonna add some vegan parmesan into the mix as well, quantities and everything on my blog, and mix around those dry ingredients till everything's nicely incorporated and amongst each other. Then you want to mix up the vegan egg, and directions are on the packet instructions, but for this recipe I made up 2 vegan eggs, and you can just mix them by hand by whisking them, or, you know, mixing it with a fork or whatever, but it does say if you want fluffier results then go for a blender to do the mixing, and I just wanted to get best results, so that's what I did, but I don't think it would be entirely necessary, so you do you. So you mix this about and you get sort of a thick pancake savoury mixture. I also took this point in the recipe to add minced garlic, and this is what it should look like. Don't stress about consistency too much, you'll figure it out. So then you want to add the boiled cauliflower, and you're going to do a bit of smushing in the process to break those larger bits up into bite-sized pieces, so everything's coated in the eggy mixture, and yeah, you're good to go. So this is the station I had. I had some paper towel on a plate, multiple layers so it would stay warm. Then I put some oil in a pan. I just wanted to do these traditionally-ish, or how we used to do it to get the best results. So you gotta flip them when they're crispy. I totally stuffed up the first round, but got there in the end, figured it out, temperatures and all, and this is the layers of heaven. I cannot tell you how good these taste. They are so delicious. There's herbed mayo on them as well. So the main flavors here are parsley, fennel, cauliflower and cheesiness, and it's like serious comfort food yet sort of restaurant style. It's so good. This tastes even better than the original, I remember, probably because I haven't had it for so long, but you've got to try them. It's so good. And if you have a cauliflower, which I don't know, it's organic, you splurge a bit for organic or find it at a farmer's market, then these are just going to be even better, because I don't even know how these could have turned out any more wonderfully. But enough of them, onto the fried rice. So as you can see, there's a little egg bits on top, and that's what I tried to do with this fried rice recipe. Harvey's ever so interested, and so is Nelson. Anyway, so I boiled about 1 cup of rice, and while that was cooking, I mixed up 1 vegan egg. In the recipe I put on my blog, I've said do 2 because 1 was not enough, but I didn't have much vegan egg mixture left over, so for this recipe I just wanted to use 1. So mix that up and then chop up your veggies. I used the assortment you see in front of you. Then I wanted to cook it like in a really thin omelette and then cut it up into strips, but that did not work with this vegan egg product. I was a little bit disappointed at this stage and thinking, well, this is great, but I don't know, it kind of just, maybe I had too much water in the mixture. That all seemed to evaporate after a point in time, and I was left with little eggy giblets, which worked fine. So I sauteed up those veggies until they were mostly soft, and I also decided to add some sausage because that's something I remember being in a lot of fried rices that I've had. Not that I've had that many, so I'm not an expert, but I added that to the veggies, and then I added in the rice that had cooled a bit. I didn't end up using the whole cup that I boiled, so the adjusted amount is in the recipe in the description box. Mix that around, and for seasoning type things I used tamari and a teensy bit of sesame oil. Only a little bit, but it does wonders for flavour, so I highly recommend if you're after that. Then this is me trying to find some serving dish. Oh, maybe it'll be in there. Oh no, I'll just I'll try something else. But wait, that didn't work either, so I went back to the first idea. Oh, and we got there in the end. So I put the fried rice in here, topped it with some more spring onion, those eggy bits, and a lemon little infinity slice, which is a fancy ass thing. This was pretty good. I mean, it's fried rice, so it's not going to blow your socks off, but I would definitely recommend using the vegan egg in this recipe. Fried rice is a pretty delicious meal anyway, so go for it. But I would say this is my least favourite dish out of the three. So moving on to the Spanish frittata, we were losing light, so that's why a lot of this was shot in the semi-dark. You'll need to boil 2 potatoes, this like serves 2. So boil those potatoes into chunks so they're tender. Then you want to cut up an onion and get some rosemary, and finally chop that. And that's what gives this its fabulous flavour, so do not skimp on the rosemary, otherwise you won't get a fabulous finished product. Then I used up all the rest of my vegan egg mixture. This was about 2 eggs and it was the perfect amount. I'm definitely glad I used the blender for this because the eggs are more the star of the dish. You want to saute those onions and rosemary giblets bits until soft and a bit of colour, and then also stir in your potatoes so everything's spread out, and you can pour a little bit of oil so the egg mixture doesn't stick, and then pour the egg mixture directly into the pan and try and sort of get it in and amongst all those potato bits so it forms one frittata that's gonna actually stick together. And if you have some vegan parmesan, that went nicely on top. That's totally optional. And also if you do this in a fry pan that can go in the oven, then that's fabulous too. So you can crispy up the top. To make this sort of pickle thing, which I definitely recommend you do, you want to thinly slice some red onion, pair it with some parsley leaves and drizzle over some lemon juice and let that sit while you put this frittata thing in the oven. I wasn't really sure if this was a oven appropriate dish, so I just kind of didn't close it for a bit, hope for the best. It did work out, so all was well in the end. And I would have left it longer to give it some more colour on top, but the light was fading and I wanted to get a shot of it outside, so we can all imagine that that's a little bit more golden brown. Then you want to, I guess, place your pickle on the frittata. Lemon juice and all, this really adds such a good flavour, and also it looks lovely. Presentation comes to another level. This is adapted from a Jamie Oliver recipe as well, and he did this pickle and I remember it fondly, so do it if you have the ingredients. This was so delicious. I was worried that the egg wouldn't cook all the way through because it was kind of like one thick layer of egg, but it really did work wonderfully in and amongst all those potato bits and the onion and the rosemary. The rosemary flavour is so delicious. It's like a quaint little one pan dish for 2. I would love having this with a rocket salad. So what do we have? We had the fritters, we had the frittata, and then we had the fried rice. And in that order, is how I would rate them all. They were all fabulous though, and totally turned the vegan egg into a celebration of how vegan food can really have no boundaries. Okay, that was weird. One other thing that I thought would be really cool making with the vegan egg, which I'll probably do in future, is to make okonomiyaki, which is like those Japanese pancakes I'm sure you're all familiar with. If you're not, then watch out for that recipe in future. Okay, thank you so much for watching Honey Bunches, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!